Hey everybody, Josh RV Nerd here, Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan, with an awesome Arctic Wolf for you today. And if you can believe it, this big thing only weighs 10,700 pounds. Less than 11,000 pounds for a private rear bunk bath and a half with triple slides, including a full bed slide, dual air auto leveling. Really smart equipment package on this thing. Let's take a quick look here. So if you're looking at it, it might look a little familiar to some other things that you've seen here at Haylett RV before. It borrows very heavily from the Cougar 364 BHL that you might find at Haylett RV. But what they did here is a little different, specifically in the fact that it does have a full bed slide and washer-dryer hookups, which are things that the Cougar version of this does not. Now, each brand naturally has its own advantages, and what I want to do here is really show you where I think this Arctic Wolf does its job very well. I'm going to point out a couple things where I think maybe they could look to improve in some few years, but overall, I think that this is a very solid package for great for family, or frankly, like you hear the phrase all the time, mother-in-law suite, and whenever folks say mother-in-law, like in response to our comments on our videos and stuff, I never know if you're being serious or malicious when you say it. So maybe give me some, like, put a little LOL at the end if you're joking, or I don't know, a little devil face emoji if you're actually thinking of putting your mother-in-law on the roof. That would help me greatly because I'm having a hard time reading everybody's sarcasm. But enough about that. Let's hop inside this thing and take a look in some more detail because it is a sweet rig. I'm really glad we have it here. I tell you too, I really like the light, bright color palette that they put into these Arctic Wolves. There's some nice light, dark contrast. I like the little spark of color and contrast against like the ends of the island or against that sofa. I don't know, it helps me understand some depth and some shape and some character. It speaks to me. Maybe it doesn't you. Like, I know some people are not really hot to trot on those zebra shades. Some people really like them, some people don't. The good news is that's an easy thing to swap out. If the only thing you dislike about this RV is the shades, folks, give our team here at Haylett RV a call. That's something that could be changed out with a screwdriver. That is not something worth, stopping yourselves from camping over. Now, you might be noticing right here, they did this a little different. They went with a full-on party sofa. This is not optional. This is just the seating arrangement in this one. And it makes more sense than I think people... Like, we're so used to seeing dinettes and sofas. But this can basically do all the same things. You could very easily get a little portable table. You could eat at this. You could make this one giant dining space. But funny thing about bunk models is they have less seating and more sleeping capacity than a couples camper. It seems so backwards. So Arctic said, tell you what, we want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to sit down and be comfortable. If you choose to add a TV, you're directly across from the entertainment center and the fireplace over there. And if we take a look, all 5 seats in this are full on, not just recliners, but also like lie backs. If you want to take a daytime nap, you got 5 different places where you could choose to do it. And that center armrest console also opens for a little bit of storage. Now, the 2 end seats are heated and include a massage function. The 3 middle seats do not. I just want to kind of clarify that. What is nice, though, I like that set of USB plugs just hiding behind it back there. Very handy little phone charger station. Now, keep in mind, my battery's blinking at me, so if we have a funny cut here, I apologize. Good lighting package in this, too. And what's nice is this has the LCI One control system, which can let you control all of your lighting from your phone. But like I did just now, you don't have to do that because they still give you a physical switch panel. It's cool that they give us the one control thing here, and I'm almost falling down the steps, so apologies. And if you want to be able to run your awnings, your slides, your lighting, you can do all of that here, but you don't have to. But what's funny is this panel also has a version of the LCI One control built into it. So you're going, why do I have 2 One controls? The short answer is not so short because I'm always long-winded. But this right here, this panel is a Cherokee feature. All members of the Cherokee family have something like that. Arctic says, okay then, we're going to take it above and beyond. We're going to give you the full touchscreen suite so that you can also control your heating, cooling, and auto leveling. So this is Arctic advancement right here. Next to that, we have the prep plug point for our LCI Wi-Fi controller, should you choose to add one. Yep, I knew it was coming. Anyway, so we got the Wi-Fi hotspot point if you want to add that here. But next to it, this goes with the juice pack option. And basically, it's sort of like the fuel gauge in your car, but instead of, gas or diesel or whatever, it's telling you how much lightning is left in your batteries. Now, this has a ceiling fan with a handy little control knob. You've got all your awnings and slide switches. So if you want to go space-age digital, you can. If you prefer to just click the button and make it work, well, you can do that too. Now, one other thing I want to show you is that this does have, if you're looking for it, LED accents just all over the place. But you can just as easily turn them off too. So if you're very interested in the Labatt blue lights, which this camera reads as pink, I don't know why it has a trouble with those blue lights, but it seems to. You can turn the lights on and off as you please. Now, there's also lighting like that in the bedroom as well. I was thinking of taking a look at the kitchen later, but I think I want to dive into the kitchen right now because the way this floor plan works, it kind of just wraps you all around in one. Like you see, you've got the extra storage above. That is one of those 10.7 cubic foot 12 volt compressor fridges. But what's cool is this RV has in total 16.4 cubic foot of fridge and freezer space because it has a second fridge and freezer outside in the camp kitchen. This thing has a ton of cold storage. But I want you to get to see like the pantry dry storage here. First of all, though, look at the way that they just kind of dressed that wall up. Like they had a blank wall above the pantry and they went, no, we don't want to leave that blank. And with just some framework. I love how they gave it almost like a little sort of barn farm style look and feel. Sometimes something doesn't have to be expensive to just be really effective. Now from here we can really zoom in on the kitchen, and I always laugh. It looks cute when they write the word pantry on the doors, but I do think it's funny. Like we wouldn't figure out what this, like who would open this and be like, huh, what is this amazing contraption where there's these shelves behind a door? If only there was a name for such a thing. Oh, look at that. It's written right on the door. By the way, both the bathroom and the main door here have full viewing windows so that you can get some light, you can see outside. But as you'll see when we go outdoors, they have like a full glass front on them. So you really can't see inside. It's a very cool way to be able to enjoy some campsite security and extra light without feeling, exposed. Now, over here in the kitchen, I knew I'd forget to do that. I forgot to open the doors above the entertainment center there, but you get the idea. Electric space heating fireplace below that. And it's a simple entertainment system. It's just Bluetooth, HDMI. But if you want to upgrade, you can see that they left you a shelf and some things to be able to do that. Now, whether it's that shelf below the TV area or this kitchen counter, all of the tabletops that you're going to see in this, or like in the bathroom counter, they're a sealed edge pressed membrane, so you don't have to worry about water potentially penetrating through there. I love it when they do this. And this is not the only drawer in the kitchen, because if we walked over here, like so far we've seen some good kitchen space, but you might think, it's still a little bit lacking. We'll get to some more. Give me just a second. But I love how they segment this for our utensils. I love how they put power outlets where I can easily get to them. There's some more outlets on the island. And I love this. This is something that they kind of borrowed from their toy hauler cousin, the Wolf Pack. There's magnetic baggage door catches on the back of this, so that when I'm done with it, you can just slap it against the wall. But when you need it, you can pull it down for serving time. Now, I don't know if they did this on purpose, but those magnets hit that oven or stovetop just right. So if you want to use that to kind of stay put here while you're getting stuff prepped, you can. And then the little magnet holdbacks act like feet. And it looks very cool and very stylish. And that is a food grade kind of thing. So it really plays the part. Now, the stovetop cover can act as a backsplash when it's flipped up. And let me get this out of the way, because I want to tell you something, folks. You don't cook on top of this glass. I've said it a few times, and every time that I share that little nugget of wisdom, there's always one person who goes, oh my God, I had no idea. I thought it was a glass cooktop. No. There's gas fire burners under there. You lift that top up when you're cooking. And now that I got this drawer out of the way, we can see down here. And I love how they didn't waste a little space below the fridge. It's awesome they have this nice size fridge here. And if down below at ankle level, if there would have been nothing there but just a panel, you wouldn't have even thought twice about it. Chances are. Arctic did, though. good folks at Arctic thought about it. They thought about a full drawer below the oven, too. They thought about a big space here for things like baking sheets and cookie pans. They thought about a lot of things in this. Now, I don't think they did this on purpose, despite all the thinking they did, but something I noticed. This has a fitted flush mount sink cover, and it has these little corner cutaways so that the sink cover stays in place in transit, and it lines up perfectly with that piece of trim back there. And you can basically makeshift your own side splash. Now, I wish more manufacturers would do something intentionally like this from the factory level, but I do think it's very easy to just kind of make it work here on this Arctic, and it costs you nothing. Now, as long as we're talking about sink stuff, high-rise sprayer faucet, which you can turn around, and if somebody's being a little lippy back on the sofa, you can put on sprayer mode and blast them. Well, obviously you don't want a whole lot of water flowing around your camper. I'm just saying you could. I'm not saying you should. Anyway, down below that, there is a little, they have it marked as like a hand sanitizer pump, but you could turn it into like a soap pump or anything like that. And that black stainless skirted sink, oh, good gravy. That is beautiful. I love the way that looks, the way it pours down the front. But look down below that. Wide open storage space. So if you want places to keep your, your soaps and all that good stuff, more baking sheets, bigger pots and pans, or a wastebasket. I think that right-hand door I'd use for a wastebasket. Now remember I said that one drawer was not the only drawer in the kitchen. I didn't mean just the drawers below the refrigerator. They still have good drawer space right here. So this kitchen at first glance looks a little lacking, but when you really start dissecting it like we're doing, you see it's pretty good. If you're going to keep a whole bunch of people in here, which considering it's a model with a lot of beds, it'll get the job done. Now, I mentioned there's easy reach outlets on the island, but they're kind of black on blackish. They're a little hard to see, so I wanted to get you in there to take a peek at them. Now, down below that, you see a heat vent. Arctic does not run heat vents through the floor. That does mean that they will lose a little bit of heating effectiveness, but I think that this is a brand that more likely speaks to folks who are probably going to be spring, summer, fall camping, extended early spring, late fall, versus the hard Arctic winter stuff. Now, thing is, ironically, the name, but they've never cold camp tested these to my knowledge. It might be like an Eagle or a Cougar, like at least 0 degree capable, but I don't have any data to support that, so I'm not going to make a promise they haven't made. I hope you appreciate the candor there. Now back here, and really I probably should have started with this rear room now that I think about it, because this is such a focal point of the RV. Like, you have a real door. This isn't, I don't even know if you'd call this a bunk room necessarily. I think it's a bedroom. This is almost like a 2-bedroom model. Like, this is a triple queen bed camper. And that is cool. Now, down below the first of the camp queen beds here, you've got what I'm going to call duffel bag storage, but just nice wide open storage. You could throw some totes down there, whatever. And again, it's like camp queen bed size. This is not just like 2 single bunks. So if you do have bigger kids, or I know some folks who camp with adult children who maybe have various developmental challenges, or I don't know maybe the proper verbiage. So if I'm getting that wrong, I'm sorry. I'm very, I guess, fortunately naive, if that makes any sense. I hope you understand what I'm saying and I'm not offending anybody. That is not my goal. But what I'm saying is there's a lot of times where maybe we have a person who needs to live with us who could, camp right here. Now, and it could be, say, mother, father-in-law who's getting a little older, advanced in age or something like that. This could work for a lot, or of course, it could just work for kids too. Now, take a little look here. You've got that cool side stand. I love how it has household and USB plugs, but a chunk of storage above that, which is really, really nice too. And I tell you, they could have just made boring, straight bars right here. I love that they churched it up a little bit, gave it a little bit of wave and shape and character. Now, the ladder I have just kind of out of the way right now. I've got it hooked on top of that mattress, but just like a toy hauler, you see that you've got a couple kind of mounting points back here. So let me get over this direction here. If you wanted to, it would come out to about there, and you can still easily walk past it. But that lets you get up here, and allow me to get this camera unslung off my neck so you can see your way up into this space, because it's kind of tricky for me to get you some good footage otherwise. Now there's TV hookups up there. There's TV hookups beside me. There's power, USB, and household plugs up there, just like there are for the lower bunks. The TV hookups I was mentioning are located over here. Now, it seems odd. It feels like it's a little high on the wall, but remember they had to kind of split the difference between the upper and lower bed. And I've climbed up and down that and looked, and you've got a pretty good bead line of sight on those. Now, those windows, you'll see from the outside, can open for some good airflow. There is a heat vent down there, in case you're curious. I just want folks to be able to know that. Of course, there's AC vents. There's also a sliding privacy door here for the rear half bath, and it's got a little magnet place so that it can hold itself shut. So when you are in here doing your business, you don't gotta worry about anybody coming in on top of you, peeking at you, something creepy weird like that. Foot flush porcelain stool. That's another cool thing on Arctics. They don't like, we're going to see a good example of that with the stable steps outside. When they use something, they use it all the way through. They don't only use it here or there, like the windows in the entry door or the sealed edge countertops that we talked about. Now, you see that remote controller right there? That is going to make it so that, you know, because this thing has such a tall ceiling, since there's a loft in the back, that remote control will get us up to this power vent fan up here, which does also have a rain sensor. So you do not need to be Shaquille O'Neal or the Jolly Green Giant to reach that thing. There is no Orlando magic required for operation. Now, I've already seen the living room, kitchen area from this direction, but only briefly, and then I opened all the cabinetry. I just wanted to give you one quick look at everything closed up, just so you get an idea what you're looking for. Note, too, some extra details. Power outlets on both sides of that island, not just one. And, I mean, there's USB plugs by the seating, both sides of the island. Anywhere you can sit, sleep, or do stuff, you're going to get it. Now, pardon the carpet square, just kind of tossed off into the corner. I was slipping on it and had to kick it out of the way before I broke my neck earlier. Handy little shoe garage down there, though, is a useful feature for sure. Moving upstairs to our bed and bath areas. Couple things. Right as we walk up here, and I'm down low like this, I'll open this up so you can see. I like a handy little wastebasket space below a sink. Now, there's kind of a panel in place there to help protect some of the plumbing and stuff behind it. You could squeeze a little extra room out of it by maybe pulling that out of there, but I think I'd make it work as is first. Now, remember, around that big sink, we have that sealed edge countertop. There's something they're very good at here. Now, right above that, next to the GFI outlets, which GFI basically means protected so you don't electrocute yourself in case you drop something into the sink if it's plugged in. If you didn't know what that means, you've got a little motion sense light. Now you have dedicated clickable lights above that. Also, kind of like that bath in the back, we've got a larger vent fan here in this bathroom as well to make sure everything always stays open and airy. And just like that half bath, we have a sliding door, and I like how they kind of went, again, with that little almost kind of barnish, farmish kind of stuff there. Jayco Eagle came out that modern farmhouse decor, and bits and pieces of that have really kind of trickled down through a lot of aspects of this industry. Now, this is a 6.5 foot tall upper deck, and if we take a look, you can see big tall goofball like me fits in there just fine. Now, normally that shower head would be mounted up a little higher, but actually, the little shower head catcher that they have installed, I kind of looked at it and went, you know, that would actually maybe be kind of handy for a kid taking a bath or a shower, because it would keep it down a little bit lower. It's a 30-inch by 36-inch shower, so handy for bigger folks and ladies like me. Fellas and ladies is what I meant to say. Awkward. Anyway, and great legroom here in front of that second porcelain foot flush stool. Yep, I'm going to get some YouTube comments on that one. What, are you saying you're a lady now, Josh? Yeah. God bless America. When we were checking this in, the quality control guy climbed on the bed when he was activating the lights above the bed there, and he messed up the bedspread, so I straightened the bedspread out. I knew I'd forget to put those pillows back up there. Sorry about that. Anyway, you've got a full front closet here, but your washer-dryer hookups are not in the front closet. Now, what's kind of interesting is, you know, we'll get a look at that in just a moment, but as long as we're talking about this, your washer-dryer hookups are over here in the other closet, because kind of, you know, they could have gone with like a massive 60-inch long shower, but 30 by 36 is enough to do your job. That allowed them to put a big either extra closet dresser, or your washer dryer hookup space is over there in that corner. Now, in theory, if someone wanted to, I heard someone ask, could I make that like a dressing room? I was like, what? They said, well, yeah, I mean, could I take the wood parts of that cabinetry out and make a corner over here where I could stand and get dressed? And yeah, you absolutely could. There's nothing structural about those items, although I think a lot of people are going to appreciate the extra hanging storage there. Now, in an Arctic Wolf, when it says suite, that means not like, sweet dude, where's my car? But it means 72 by 80 king bed. Suite is their designator for a east-west bed slide and a king bed, whereas if it says relax in an Arctic Wolf, that's a 60 by 80 queen. And by the way, when you see the darker sealed edge countertops, they have this really cool kind of simulated live edge on them. I talk about that a lot recently here. I like it. I like when they do. It's not so boxy and square and boring and bland. Now, the bed slide Arctic Wolf models standard have the second centralized Coleman AC unit installed in them. Whereas the north-south queen bed models, that would be an optional piece of equipment. But on like your 321 Arctic bunkhouse, you'd see we'd do that here too. There is storage below the bed. You can see how it's totally carpetless up here. It's easy cleaning through the whole camper. Now, on the left side over there, there is like a kind of dresser shelf space. And it opens inward. You get a nice little peek at me there. Normally I try to pretend I'm a vampire so nobody can see me, but I failed today. Over here on the right side, though, you see you still have like dresser shelves, but it's inside of the closet. They do it a little bit different on either side. I don't really know why. I just know that's what they do. TV hookups here in the bedroom if you're so inclined. Shoe garage below the dresser space here. And I like how they give you a tall one and then two big horizontal ones. So like, you know, if you got sweaters and jeans and stuff, you can put them in the right-hand side. If you just got lightweight t-shirts and stuff, you can put them in the left-hand side. Now, I also want to take a look here with the slides closed, and I think I got to do a better job like I'm doing right now of showing you the bedroom with the slide closed, because there are a weird number of RVs whose bedroom doors will hit the bed when the slide is retracted, and I want to make sure I'm always going above and beyond so that you can see that's not going to be the case here. Now, as we work our way back past all of our controls and see all the slides closed here, as pretty much expected, when you have opposing slides and you have some kind of island in the middle, you're not going to be able to get to too much of anything. What is interesting is you can actually kind of slide through here. There is enough room where you could do a sideways travel trailer two-step, but it's not really going to benefit you very much. There's not really anything back there that you need to reach. Now, I would say that you could use the rear half bath door to get to the the half bath for travel purposes, but you don't need to because you still have that full bath up front. However, there is one benefit in going from that front door over here to the half bath door, and remember how it actually connects to the loft room. So even if you don't need to use this for travel purposes, although you obviously could, being able to make a stop and get back here into your rear second bedroom, loft room, craft den, office, whatever you want to call it or use it for, that is a really handy feature. And this right here is something that a lot of bunkhouse fifth wheels don't offer, and that is access to the bunks in transit. So if you are a towing and going family, like just because of the layout of this, I could see this being a really good option for something like a towing and going fifth wheel family, because you could stop to get in here. And remember, you do have like the extra cooler space in the outside camp kitchen, which we'll see in just a few minutes. In case you're wondering why that bed's kind of lumpy, that's where the ladder is currently located, the ladder that is removable to get you up here to the loft bed. And really, just like the inside of the RV, the outside of an Arctic Wolf continues with that trend of really smart appointments. Like, you'll see that they have dual awnings. We'll come back and open those up and see the patio in full effect in a minute here. But they didn't bury an awning over the slide out on the door side like that. Just some smart detail things. Not necessarily always the least expensive way of doing it, but they're really smart with so many things that they do that they can get away with a couple more expensive items where it really matters. Like their slide awning ready. That's something we can do for you here at Haylett RV. This is standard auto leveling. The bed slide Arctic Wolves are now standard dual air conditioning. The things that matter, the things that are appropriate for an RV of this layout and this size, they always handle them. But they also do a couple little nice detail things, even when you zero in under a more micro level versus standing back at the macro level. Like all LED tail and markers. Believe it or not, that is still something that even a lot of big, high-dollar fifth wheels aren't doing. and they're doing it here as a standard matter of happenstance. We will see the pass-through storage in more detail in a minute. I just want to give you kind of a nice pass-through look here. If we get down below, you're not going to see much, which you rarely see very much under an RV anymore nowadays. It is enclosed underneath. It is heated, so this has a solid extended season package to it. But unfortunately, you can't see a lot of the work that they're doing for you. So we're going to hop in the back where you can see a little bit more of what's going on. Now, back here, this is what I wanted to show you. They did a really smart thing. So remember that, like, well, not even a bunk, but a queen bed that we saw inside, because you could very easily describe this as a 2-bedroom model, not just a bunkhouse. Underneath that, from the front, you had duffel bag storage, but down here, you've got extra outside storage. And you are going to see later, this thing has a massive front pass-through. You already got like a peek at it. So this is great for separate stuff, such as the sewer type things that are back here right next to this place. So having a sealed tote here, separate from all your other camping stuff. Doesn't that sound nice? And they could have just done that and left it alone, but they did an extra little thing. They included a light in here so you can see what you're doing at night. And that is no small thing. That is something that I think most shoppers, most buyers, wouldn't have even known was there until they already own the RV. But that's the stuff I look for, someone who's done this for a dozen years and has gone camping for much, much longer. I look at it from a user standpoint. How am I going to actually use this thing? Because there have been more first-timers joining the ranks of RV ownership this year than ever before in history. And I really appreciate when folks tune in. I appreciate when you hit that like and subscribe button, you follow along with us here. And part of my job is I'm going to try to do my best to help a first-time RV owner get their second camper the first time. But whether it's your second one, first one, last one, I think we've got some good information here for you, like we're all backup camera ready. Now we're looking at 2 optional pieces of equipment we've added to this one. That is the rear roof ladder and the fold-down cargo travel rack. We like to put both of those things on our Arctics and Cherokees pretty much whenever we have the opportunity. And that roof will get up there in a little bit so you can see the solar package. I always want to say solar system, but I tell you, that's a real pain in Uranus. Asteroids. Anyway. I'm going to get fired one day. Let's take a look at the awning, shall we? And I love how they maximize the patio space here. Instead of, really, I mean, it looks like a toy hauler. One of our new salespeople came in and said, does Arctic Wolf make a toy hauler? I go, what do you mean? He said, I just saw a new one come in with 2 awnings and then like a slide in the middle like a toy hauler. And I kind of laughed and said, no, but that's really smart, and I'm glad that they built it that way. Because back here, for the half bath entry door and dedicated for the camp kitchen, you have your own shaded rear patio space. And, you know, plenty of little space there between the outside kitchen and those steps if you want to put like a little chair or something. But down below that, you have a little gas grill quick connect. Arctic lets you kind of pick your own poison when it comes to what you're going to use for campsite cooking. Instead of forcing you, well, not forcing you, but kind of shoehorning you in a sense into using this cooker or that cooker, they let you pick your own. So if you're Blackstone enthusiast, if you prefer a free-floating Coleman camp grill, whatever it is, this will work for you. And I like how it's all galvanized rolled steel out here. So, because this is an area of, you know, whether it's humidity or if it gets a little rain exposure, you want to make sure that you're not going to have wood get wet and swell up. Having this dedicated drawer space out here for all your utensils and things, super handy. A real sink with a real drain. And what's nice is you've got a sink right here, and there's a half bath right there, but you don't have to go up and down the steps to get in and out of it. It's all right here in one spot. Handy outlets right there if you want to make a little phone charger station. I think what I would do is this little slot right here. I could set my phone in that, have my cable dangling down. That'd be a great little spot for an outdoor phone charger or a power plug for like an outdoor Bluetooth speaker if you wanted separate localized music versus what's coming out of your main speakers. But this thing, woo, this thing right here. Let me get this open for you, because the thing is, some RVs come with a small outdoor mini fridge that's about this size right here. But this brand, Cherokee as a whole, takes it up a notch by basically doubling that space. This is a 5.7 cubic foot fridge and freezer. This RV has a full inside fridge, a full inside freezer. Now, I always try to shoot you straight, and I know that you folks appreciate that. That fridge freezer combo out there is $110 park power or generator power only. It does not work off 12 volt. Unfortunately, the cost of those devices is still just a little bit out of line. I'd rather you know that up front. I'm not going to sell based on half a truth. So you've got a 12 volt inside fridge, a 110 outside fridge. The idea there is just make sure you're paying attention to how you pack and what you're going to put where and how you're going to use the RV, and you're going to be good to go. Now, this is another detail that I love here. So stable steps are nothing new in the RV industry at this point. It is nice, by the way, if you take a look here, they are using, similar to like Rockwood or Wildwood or whoever, the easy setup kind of foot pegs on these. But other than that, you're like, so what? Stable steps. Well, here's the thing. Are you noticing that they're on both the front and rear doors? And really pay attention to that. Look at how many brands of RVs only use the stable steps on what they would consider the main entry door, not an off door like over here to the half bath. But having this refrigerator here, having that bathroom right there, those are two of the most common reasons, really the most common two reasons why people are going in and out of the RV all day. So suddenly you have really no need to go tracking dirty foot traffic through the RV. And they're easy in, easy out because both doors are treated the same. Rockwood's good about this too. They have a full entry door with stable steps and handle and friction anti-slam hinge. But notice once again that what I call Invisiview entry door. You see that window? A full viewing window in the door. And Alakazam, she be gone, man. It just disappears like that. It's basically a full glass front door. So it makes it so that you can always see out, but people aren't really peeking in at you. And I don't know. I love the fact that even though this is a very cost-sensitive brand, Arctic Wolves are most certainly made with cost in mind. They're still doing the things that matter most, the things you're going to use, see, feel, and touch every single day, all over the place. They don't. It's like a Wendy's burger. It's square because they don't cut corners. And in case you're wondering, that's actually why Wendy's has square burgers. That was their motto, because they don't cut corners. The main entry door here, you know, just like the rear door that we just saw. Now, both power awnings have lighting. You can operate them off the switch panel. You can operate them off the one control. But up here, this is awesome. Right above that little leash latch space, you have a huge pass-through compartment. Because they had that camp kitchen in the back, they didn't have to worry about burying one in the belly of this thing up front here. And instead, what they left you is more cubic foot of pass-through storage space than even a lot of these potentially double this budget point luxury fifth wheels could even dream of having. Now, did you see that little light kick on? On 3 points in this pass-through, you will see these little motion-activated lights so that when you are in the pass-through, when you do need to manipulate cargo, they will kick on for you. And that is awesome. Now, I want to get over here a little bit closer so you can see the outside TV hookups. Now, that is another place, if you wanted to, you could probably put a little mini fridge in that corner. The outlets are there, the space is there. And if you want to run some TV stuff outside, that's where you would run the cabling through. Now, these don't really have any allowances for a TV that you would mount on the side of the RV. It's probably physically, theoretically possible, but it's not something that they really allow for here. I would just get a picnic table, portable table, something like that, and put them on there. Oh, by the way, those baggage doors that we were looking at in that pass-through, they are slam latched, and they do have magnet holdbacks for easy access. And look at the curb appeal on this. How cool does that look with those wings out, basically, with that awning? Now, I work very quickly here. As you see, this RV is, at the time, still hooked up to the RV delivery driver's truck. You may have actually spotted our quality control guy flit around the background. Before we let this RV off the truck, we go through, we check everything out that we can. Then before you take it home, we pull it inside and do a full burn on all the appliances. Actually, we do that as a matter of happenstance. Then before you take it home, we do it again. So everything on this has been double or triple checked before you have to worry about hitching it up and taking it home. It's not easy, but sometimes it ain't about being easy. It's about doing it right. And that's what we try to do for you here at Haylett RV. Now, speaking of our quality control guy, you see that bathroom vent? We talked about that remote control bathroom vent right there. He's inside checking that out right now. I'm not just making those stories up. We actually go through these things. Now, the roof of this, it is a bright polar white, and that is intentional to keep the sunshine off of you. And that is also why this standard, you don't have to pay extra to upgrade to this, has dual 15,000 BTU Coleman AC units. So those run a little bit quieter. Now, a quiet air conditioner is not the same as a whisper quiet ducted system. They both help, And it is possible to put them both together to really, really quiet stuff down, like you'll find that in a Jayco Eagle, but you'll also find that at a higher price point. And that's, again, what I think Arctic does best. The thing that has the biggest impact before the level of diminishing returns, that's what they do here. And that's sort of what I mean by a very high value product. The stuff that means the most, that you're going to use and touch and see and feel every day. That's what Arctic does very, very well. So if you are interested in doing things like hooking up to some mobile data, maybe you want to do some streaming video or whatnot, this is awesome because it's all prepped for the LCI Wi-Fi hotspot. And what I love about it is the access panel is built into the prep. So if you do choose to add the device, you're not actually screwing into the RV's construction, which means you are not voiding RV warranty. And that, I think, is a brilliant little detail there. Now, this is built with the Cherokee Juice Pack, which is primarily a battery maintaining solar package. But even on an overcast gray day today, like the leaves are looking beautiful right now. Frankly, this is some of the most beautiful, colorful fall leafage I've seen in a long, long time. But the sky is gray and it's depressing. And even so, we're still getting good juice into these batteries. Like we're running the awnings, the slides, and all that stuff off the 12 volt. And this power package right here is doing a great job of keeping up with all that, so we're not draining the batteries. It's a 50 watt panel. It is a raised panel, high efficiency panel, so it does a pretty good job, as we just got done describing, but it is also expandable. If you wanted to add a second 50 watt panel, like over here or something like that, you could do so without needing to change any wiring, a charge controller, or anything like that. Now, if you have interest in a more advanced solar package, those good people in that shop over there, the people that actually turn the wrenches, they've forgotten more about RVs than I think I've ever learned. And they are capable of doing just about anything and everything you ever wanted to this RV, especially if it comes down to adding inverters and a full-on solar package. Now, that stuff can get spendy, but we can do any of it that you're interested in. You just let us know. And short of that, I sure appreciate you folks tuning in today, and I would love it if you gave my family's dealership here, because we are family owned and operated, the opportunity to earn your business and work with you. And whether you need hitching, pieces, parts, trades, finance, truck and trailer package deals, because as you see, we have vehicles here too, a very small but hand-selected fleet of nice things. We only do everything here at Haylett RV. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy Haylett camping, everyone.